Before Hunter x Hunter, Yoshihiro Togashi created the masterpiece that is Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho is definitely one of the most underrated anime that I've ever watched, and I feel like it deserves way more praise and recognition. Now today I'm going to be ranking each Yu Yu Hakusho arc from my least favorite to my favorite. Now before I begin, there will be spoilers for this series, so in case you haven't seen the series, I suggest you watch it, not just to see this video, but because it's just a great anime. Now with all that out of the way, let's get on with the list. This arc was really looking to be a great one, and it started off really interesting too. I really enjoyed and was very invested in the first half of this arc. Yusuke's farewell to his friends was very emotional, the introduction of Ryzen was cool, and I loved seeing Hiei and Kurama's backstories. And the premise of a three-way demon world war that Togashi was setting up was very interesting to me. I was ready to see it. Also, seeing Kurama working with the main antagonist Yomi had me pumped. I thought that Kurama was going to be kind of a secondary antagonist, and it was going to be very interesting to see. Seeing Kurama conflicted about fighting his best friends was going to be very interesting to see. But what did we get instead? Another tournament. And it's not that I hate tournaments, but the Makai tournament was just very underwhelming to me. It just did not live up to the hype. Like in Dragon Ball, each tournament was better than the last. The 21st tournament was a fun tournament for Goku to test out his skills. The 22nd was about the rivalry between the Turtle School and the Crane School. And the 23rd tournament was a battle for the fate of the world. And then we move on to the Cell Games, which had the entire, not just the Earth, but the entire solar system on the line. Then, there was a bunch of tournaments in Super, but those suck. Super just sucks. Anyway, the point is that Dragon Ball could pull off a bunch of tournaments because each was better than the last. But I can't say that about the Makai tournament. The Makai tournament did not even come close to the feat of the Dark tournament. On top of that, I just didn't really care about any of the fights except for Yusuke and Yomi. And even that one was just okay. Also, don't read the manga version of this arc. It's a rush piece of crap. I know Togashi kind of lost the passion to write this manga, or just manga in general, and that's why the Three Kings arc was ended just abruptly and rushed, but still. In the manga, we don't even get to see Hiei and Kurama's matches. And not even Yusuke's. Yusuke and Yomi kind of clash fists, and that's it. I appreciate what the anime did by trying to add stuff. I really appreciate it, trying to make this arc better, but it just wasn't enough. The first half of this arc was great, but the tournament just kind of just sucked, and that's why this arc is on the low on this list. I guess this is more of a mix of arcs than just one continuous narrative, but I'm still counting it as one arc. This was the very first arc of the series, so we are obviously going to get introduced to and accustomed to the main characters. And as I said before, this is a mix of different arcs, so a lot of things are happening. When Yusuke first became a spirit detective, we get to see him go on a bunch of different missions, so we're going to see him fight a variety of villains and meeting a bunch of people. And also we get to see Yusuke and Kuwabara learning to use their powers, and we get introduced to the Toguro brothers, who became the main antagonists of the Dark Tournament arc, and also just fan favorite villains. Or I guess younger Toguro is more of the fan favorite, no one really cares about the older one. Overall, it may not be the best arc, but it was a very fun arc in my opinion, and a great introduction to the series. Togashi really loves calling out the human race on their bullshit, doesn't he? The Chapter Black arc introduced us to, in my opinion, the best antagonist in the series. Seriously, Shinobu Sensui makes this arc what it is. He is a former spirit detective who is hell-bent on ending the human race by opening a tunnel to the demon realm. What I love about Sensui is how morally ambiguous he is. He spent his entire life killing demons because he believed them to be evil. But when he realized that humans were no better than demons, he dedicated himself to reconciling with demons by letting them destroy the human race, including himself. Though this arc was good, there were a few bumps along the line. Like, for example, the 7 psychics. Like, I liked the idea, but the only psychics I cared about were Sensui, Seaman, and the Doctor. And the only reason why I cared about Seaman was because he joined our heroes. The other psychics kind of sucked to me. I guess Gourmet, but like the only reason why I cared about him was because older Tagoro like took over his body. Anyway, this arc had a few bumps in the road, but Yusuke and Sensui's fight saved this arc for me. Also, Yusuke's demon transformation was awesome to see. I know a lot of people don't really like the whole Yusuke being a demon thing, but I thought it was great. This arc was very interesting, and Sensui was just an amazing villain that really did save this arc for me, and as well as for other people. Even though I haven't seen many anime, I've seen enough to know that tournament arcs are a staple in shonen. Personally, the Dark Tournament is the best tournament arc that I have ever seen, and yes, I think it's even better than the 23rd tournament and the Cell games. We were introduced to the main villain of the arc, younger Toguro, at the end of the Spirit Detective arc, so I definitely wasn't expecting him to turn out to be as amazing of a character as he turned out to be. Even though I said that Sensui was my favorite villain in this series, Toguro is still an awesome villain, who proves to be more than just a powerful brute as we learn more and more about his past and motives, and his relationship with Genkai was definitely something interesting to see. The Dark Tournament gave us a variety of amazing fights, amazing characters, and it was also great to see Team Urameshi grow closer by putting their lives on the line together. Each member of the team had their moment to shine and gave us great performances in each fight. Obviously, the highlight of this arc was the final match against Team Urameshi and Team Toguro. This arc was brutal, exciting, and very emotional. My only gripe with it is how Genkai was brought back to life in the end, as I feel like that kind of removed all the emotional weight that this arc had left us with. But despite that, this arc is still the best arc in Yu Yu Hakusho and the greatest tournament arc I've ever seen.